game of basketball has taken us places we can never imagine. For winning 4 EuroLeague titles,
playing 6 years in 5 countries,
and making connections with people from all around the world.
we have stories that can last a lifetime.
I like it.
Now it's time to tell yours.
When I met Michael Jordan for the first time, and still to this day, if I see him, he's glowing.
It just came down to, like I said, looking myself in the mirror like, brother, do you want to play ball or not?
I've never been in an environment like EuroLeague.
Because, living over here in Europe, bro, Kyle, we kings over this jump, bro.
Right.
Denver Nuggets.
Appreciate y'all having us on here.
Yes, sir, man. Big time. This is really dope.
This is Hoop Tales.
Welcome back to Hoop Tales Podcast. Today we have a very special guest who's played professionally on 5 different continents, a former 2-time NBA champion, a FIBA International Cup winner, a EuroLeague champion, and current Big 3 member with the Killer Threes. My guy representing Riverdale, Georgia, Josh Powell. What's up, bro?
My man.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Newest
How you,
member
bro?
of the GTM, newest member.
We got you, bro.
Not yet.
We got you.
Too early.
Nah, you got you, bro. We got you, bro. you already been involved, man. You know that. You grandfathered in.
There you go. Everybody staying safe out there?
Oh, man, we all good, man. We can't complain, just trying to stay out the way, You see?
Already.
Staying out the way for sure.
Already.
So how you and the family doing, during these times? I mean, obviously it's tough times right now, so.
It is, man. But I think as far as like in my house, man, it's kind of like same routine, bro. Like, it just gives us a little bit more time together, man, because normally with all the ripping and running and like the kids got their own schedules, now we get a chance to, from sun up until sundown, like really, really get some good time in. And that's the thing that I've been enjoying the most. Like,
yeah.
I've been practicing a lot of new things with them, like whether it be meditating, breathing exercises. We still get our prayers up. But, making sure that we just stay ahead of the curve, man, keep educating, keep pushing forward, and having some fun with it, man. We've been doing a lot of other things, too. We've been working out every day, just trying my best, bro, to be creative as possible during this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's low key kind of like, obviously, people losing their lives and, families is breaking up and everything like that. But I think the blessing in disguise, especially like you said for you and also like for me, is like we're so used to being traveling, so used to being on the road that, it's been really dope just kind of just be in one spot and to get a chance to kind of like spend some quality time with my family. Like, I was telling Tyler the other day, like I was walking around the neighborhood, I've never seen so many people so active and like families together doing stuff. So like this is kind of like the blessing in disguise in all this.
No, absolutely, big facts, and it's also refreshing to see too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Just people spending family time, bro. Like obviously you don't know what's going on in the home, but
yeah,
it's just still good to see people just walking, bro. Like, where you have to interact other than just being on your phones or carrying on with your daily. So it's a good way to build, man. And hopefully during this time, a lot of people are making those strides to become better individuals and better families and all of that.
Definitely. So now we're gonna jump right into it. So you started your professional career back in 2003, right?
Yes, sir.
So you started out in Russia and then you went to Italy. So my main question is like, what was life like for an overseas hooper in 2003? Like there was no FaceTime, there wasn't no no Netflix, there wasn't no iPhones. Like what was life like during that time?
AKA calling card shouty, AKA BBB shouty, AKA you better pick your book up shouty. Man, listen, I promise you, I probably was spending 50 to 100 euro a week, man, on calling cards and stuff
Really?
like that. Like, it's crazy you say that, man. It took me back, man. It's like you had that 50-minute boy, you running out. You know what I'm saying? But shit, you might be on the phone with one of your partners, and you've been meaning to call your mama or somebody, and it's like, damn, man, I got to go back to the store to go buy another. And you mess around and spend about $400, man. This to call people, dog. Like, that's so crazy. And then when times really get crazy, you like, look, man, y'all call me.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure y'all pick that thing up, man. Hit my line. So, yeah, man, that's funny, man. I think I brought a suitcase full of DVDs. And then I had a few books on deck, and then I had my iPod. But yeah, man, it's just, trying to figure out a way to be creative, man, to keep myself entertained, because I was literally solo dolo at 19. Yeah. That's when I first started out.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was 19, 20, yep. So it was a huge, huge adjustment, man. It was, yeah.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. I mean, I was 21 when I went over, and I was just like, I felt like I went over to a totally different world. Like, all I had was my PlayStation, and I was back then, like, but that was back then, like, when they had American DVDs and they had European DVDs and American games and European games. So it was like, I went over there, and it was like, you couldn't buy no new games. So it was like, whatever games you had, you came over, that was all the games that you were gonna play for the whole entire year.
Crazy.
You know what else crazy, bro? Because I know you was in Rock. One of my first experiences, man. I'll never forget, bro. I got caught in I think I was in Moscow, bro, and I got caught in the airport at the time. And I can't remember what I was dealing with or what was going on. It was like with my flight or something, but I was just in the airport super long. And I'll never forget going back and forth with the lady trying to work on my seat. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm 6'9", bro. Back then, you got to take whatever they give you. There ain't no business class. We ain't doing no emergency, like exit rows. Like, them boys going to put you where you got to take. And I was trying to talk to the lady, like, look, I done been on this long flight. Is there anywhere I can get, some room and this, that, and the third? And I'll never forget this, bro. At 19, that lady was like, you should just go back to America. Go home. I was like, damn, we going to start the overseas life like that? God. Man, I just went and sat down, bro. I was like, man, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm supposed to be emotional. I don't know if I'm supposed to, like, panic. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, dog. You hear something like that?
You don't know if she's speaking facts. Like, she trying to give you, she's trying to give you game. Like, yo, you shouldn't even be here.
I don't know what's going on, bro. And then, at the time, bro, I'm traveling. I'm solo, man. And I'm the only brother at the airport. Because, like, I done already flew. I forgot where I connected, but I was already in Russia, and then I had to go to was it Locomotive, I think?
Yeah.
So I was going from one of them airports to there, man, and shit, I was the only brother at the time, and I'm looking around, I'm like, bro, this ain't a good look. This ain't a good feeling.
Now, do you have any other American teammates on that squad?
James, what's the OG last name? He was a guard. Super cool, man. I think he played in the league maybe like for a year. What's his last name, man? I cannot remember. He was like a super OG, bro. He was like 36 when I got there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can't even remember, man. It was so, because I was only there for like a couple weeks. Like, something ended up happening. And I just told my agent, I said, bro, I gotta get the hell on. This ain't it. This ain't it.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy.
So what happened after you left Russia? Where'd you go after that? Back to the crib?
So I went back to the A, sat still for like a couple weeks, man, and then I picked up a gig in Italy for half a season. So I just, you know what I'm saying, I went and played in Scafati. for my first year, man, and in Italy, right by Naples, not too far. You already know.
That's where the mafia's at.
My owner, bro. You already know. With all the shit too.
Yeah.
With it, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what's funny, man, is not that year, but the following year, I ended up playing for the rival team.
Yeah.
And we had a brawl breakout. So I'm in the middle, like, yeah, bro, like literally, you pull up, bro, you gonna get laid out type of situation, bro. Like, so we ended up beating them, bro. Crazy game. They blowing weed in the stands. They doing the whole show. So soon as the buzzer in, you know, them folks turned up. They super geeked up. But on the other side, obviously the rivals, bro, they just started getting into it. So we just 30 minutes straight, bro. Everybody just full out brawl. You know what I'm saying? Like we in that bit fighting, going ham. They trying to get the team. They trying to get the teams to split and go to the locker rooms. Bro, it wasn't none of that, bro, because it was like everybody was just getting busy. And I'll never forget, bro, the president of our team, because, you know, now I'm on the other side. So Scafati was the mafia folks. I don't think the president on our team was on that. I mean, obviously he could have had some partners, but I just remember he came running in the locker room leaking, bro. I tell you, them folks went to work on dog. He went to work on my man, dog. He came in that thing leaking, bro. I'll never forget that, bro. We got to fight from the court all the way through the locker room, because the way our gym was set up, there's another gym that goes right before you get to the locker rooms.
Yeah.
So it was going on all through there, bro.
Oh,
all
crazy.
the smoke, everything you want, bro. All the smoke in the city. You just had to come with it, my G.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So yeah, man, there was some fun times, man, and I just remember, like, and then on that team, matter of fact, when I was on Scafati's team, Brandon Brentley, and then I had another James, man, I can't remember his last. He went to Florida State, and he actually played 2 years in the league. He was a wing though. I can't remember his name, but they were super cool, man. Great veteran guys, you know, taught me a lot about the game, and it helped me adjust to the overseas life a lot better. They introduced me to some of the people they knew. You know, we were able to go on the Army bases and get food and eat at, you know, the restaurants and get like some of that American feel to it. But yeah, man, I just, you know, being able to play against grown men and just that whole transition, man, it was just different for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was used to being, I mean, shit, at that time, I think I don't even think I might have cracked 200, maybe been like 205, something like that.
That's crazy.
So it wasn't like I was super, you know.
But even at 200, you probably thought you was big though. You probably thought like you was like,
bro, coming from college, yeah. Because you got to think, bro. I was in college, bro. I started off at NC State, bro, 185. So I literally put on, you know, like a couple pounds, man, and then might have been like almost 200, and then maybe was like 205, 210 my sophomore year. So, you know, for me, it's like, shit, when you finally get adjusted to that, you like, cool, but then you start playing against grown men with that stepdaddy weight. That shit different, dog. Like, that's a different level of heaviness, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's a different ball game right there.
James Singleton, you know James Singleton, right? He was he played same division I was in. So that was like growing up, there was always those comparisons with him and I, because, you know, we was both athletic, you know, tall, could jump, you know, shoot, do whatever. And that was probably as close as to what I was used to. Everybody else was like 260, 270, 280, big boys, man. Like, you know, and that was one of the things that helped me, though, especially when you talking about transitioning even to the league or just playing against bigger guys, even when EuroLeague and just moving forward, like that was why I was able to make those adjustments. Because I've always been a small 5, you know what I'm saying? Just like you, big dog.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
Gotta make it work.
Yep.
What was the feeling when you signed your first contract in 2005, first NBA contract in 2005?
Right away, what happened was Avery Johnson pulled me up into his room in Vegas. So it's like I had been putting up double doubles, man. Like Strong was like in summer league, you know what I'm saying? 19, 10, 18, and 11, like just stuff like that. And he was just like, I want to see how you play in this next game. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna play against the White. After that game, he called me up to his room, and he was like, "Powell, you know, you've been playing real strong and real well, and want to say congratulations. We want to bring you on and sign you to the Dallas Mavericks." So it was crazy, man, because me and Jamie's my agent. So me and him, you know, he brought us both up there, man. And it's like, I kept it cool when I was in his room. I was super geeked, and I was like, "Thank you, bro." As soon as I walked out of his room and he closed that door, man, I just fell on the floor. I was like super geek, super emotional, bro. I just fell out right there. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, man, this is a blessing. Like I've always dreamed. You know what I'm saying? Like my dream was to do what I love. I didn't have that on my radar to be like, I'm gonna make it to the league.
Right.
Who's the first person you called? You know, after you got the deal, you got the news.
Oh man, you know you can call Mom, dude.
Yeah.
You know, you
Definitely.
you gotta call your parents. Shit, by the time you call one, they done hit 10 people for you. You ain't even got to your second phone call. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if text messaging was popping back then, but I don't know how folks found out the way that they found out, but it was like, I called moms and pops first, man, and it just was like, it just went from there. But then people started blowing my line up, you know what I'm saying? And it's one of the most amazing feelings, bro. Like to feel like you've been accepted by the brotherhood, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's definitely a blessing, man, for real.
Talk about playing with Dirk, man. I know that had to be an experience. Just seeing him in his prime when he was coming up, one of the first overseas players to really make his mark in the league.
Hey, listen, man, real talk, bro. Especially up until that point, I was young. Dirk is the coldest white boy I ever seen in my life.
I believe it.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because coming up, you know, and it's funny, I was just watching Q Richardson podcast, and they was talking about, because, you know, like, just with us, man, it's like, man, I ain't finna let nobody like that give me no work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, when you see how that brother was moving, what's up? I'm talking about a 7-footer, man. And then, you know, obviously when he got older, he was, you know, body started slowing down and stuff like that. But he was mobile. His jump shot is one of the best jumpers I've ever seen, man. His footwork, he got moves. Very smart. You know what I'm saying? For somebody to not be overly fast or overly athletic.
Yeah.
But he was just able to get it done, man. And the thing I loved about him the most, which is in line with a lot of the greats that I've seen, is his work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was blessed to be able to work out with him, you know, and come in the gym. And his thing was he always came back at like 11 or 12 at night. That was like his thing, you know what I'm saying? So just being able to see him, the moves that he worked on, how he saw the game, and to be able to learn from him in that way, man, it was just really, really amazing. And it helped me further my game a lot more, you know what I'm saying? Because I was able to patent certain things that he did and take certain things that certain moves or certain, you know, game situations from him that still stick with me from this day. You know what I mean? So just to see somebody that played the game the way that he did, salute to him too for being on the same team his whole career.
Yeah,
and just what he did, yeah, super dope. And just what he did not only for the NBA but also for Europe. You know what I'm saying? And being over that way. You know what I mean? Because now you talking about guys like himself, Ginobili's, the Parkers, the list goes on of how many players, even to Luka now, that people are starting to be like, the boys got game. You know what I'm saying?
He changed. He literally helped. Sure. He helped change like the perception of like how people view European players. People used to view
he's arguably
European
right
players.
Now, I would say arguably right now he's the best non-American player to come out.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And obviously it'll be great to see what Luka does, but there's a lot of guys that's from over there that got game. You know what I'm saying? Powell, Gasol, like the list goes on of guys that are sick with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just good for the game of basketball to see that, there are people all over this world, man, that got game. You know what I'm saying? And know how to play this game the right way. So, I salute Dirk for that too.
You brought the transition on while talking about Powell. Like, what made that Lakers team, that back-to-back championship team, so special? Like, what was it that like kind of gave it? So I watched the podcast with Ron, and it seemed like anytime you guys are around each other, it seemed like especially now with the the situation, the untimely passing of Kobe, but it seemed like you guys just had something special watching the games. I've been watching the games, on NBA TV. What was it? Like, what was it? What was that like kind of made you guys, have that special brotherhood with each other?
I compare it to even when we were teammates, bro. Like, it don't matter what level. If you're talking about winning the championship, man, it's always like the same secret sauce.
Yeah.
And you gotta have chemistry. I don't think a lot of guys understand the importance of roles. So on that Lakers team, and it's funny, man, I be seeing that weak ass meme that be going out talking about, Kobe took this team to the finals and they won back to back.
Yeah.
But then it's like wasn't nobody trying to see us though. Like there wasn't nothing. You can't first of all, you can't accidentally go back to back. And I think the year before that, I think they probably won 50 to 60 games too, though.
Yeah.
So you can't go 2 to 3 years straight winning that many games and it be a fluke. First of all.
That's right.
Secondly, not only with that, but just based on the fact that they still were able to go to the championship 3 years straight.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless of winning it or not, there was obviously with Kobe, Phil, D-Fish, certain guys like that, there's always that pedigree that's already there. So you got to raise your level to another level on and off the court. You know what I'm saying? Like the standard is just high, and you perform at a different, perform in a different way because, again, when you're going for greatness, man, there's nothing. Anything else is just settling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I appreciated the fact that Meta talked about the practices, which is one of the biggest things that made us so good. And think about, Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, you've done this thing 4 times, but I can't speak on your other experiences. I just know when we were teammates, but just how we used to battle, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like how we would get each other better, how we would, push each other, and it got testy in there, man, plenty of times. But it's like soon as practice was over, we were brothers. And it's nothing ever personal, man. When you're doing what you got to do because the goal of champion is in mind. You know what I'm saying? That comes with something different. And I joined, interestingly enough, I joined Olympiacos on a repeat-like situation because obviously y'all wanted to do it before I got there. And then even with the Lakers, it was like they lost. So they were on a mission, bro. Like when I got there, because I got there pretty early. So you talking about we didn't have to report, I don't think, until like late, September or something like that. Man, we was up in there early, probably like August, bro.
Really?
Like on a mission from the jump, and that's what sets people apart, man. Because right from the start, and even though Kobe wasn't practicing or doing certain things as far as like what we were doing, but his presence was felt because they felt the way from how they lost the year before. You could tell that was that chip on his shoulder, like we're not bullshitting. We're coming in here to get a win and to finish this thing out how we're supposed to this year. Like we got a taste of what it was last year, and we're not settling until we hold that trophy up this year. Now, where I felt them was 2005 or 2006. I was with Dallas and we lost the championship.
Yeah, Miami, right?
So I have an understanding of what that feels like to come up short. Now the difference between when the Lakers lost it before, Boston probably had a better team. You know what I'm saying? But there was no damn reason we should have lost to Miami, dog. Not the first time when we were, bro. We was up 2-0. We blew them out the first two games. We was up by 15 with 3 minutes to go in game 3.
Yeah.
So it just sucks, man. But sorry to get off topic, but to go back to again what Meta said, man, the things that make those teams special is just knowing that. You know what I'm saying? Like the chemistry, the roles, and then another thing that helps with chemistry is when you're bonding with guys not only on the court, but you got to have relationships off the court.
Off the court, yeah.
It's important, man. Whether that be dinners, movies, whether you do some tasks together, I don't know, but you got to be able to bond, man, and you got to, be able to build something together, man. That's deeper than just the game of basketball. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that.
I mean, that's why we on this call today. You feel me?
Facts.
I got my inductee. I'm a part of the. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy because that's you talking about 7 years ago, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like 7, 8 years ago, I met y'all when I was 29. Yeah. So, and the fact that we're still able to call each other brothers to this day, man, it just goes to show how great this game is, man, for people, for communities, for the world. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. That's facts.
No, for sure.
We can't go past the Lakers without talking about the late, great Kobe Bryant, Peter, him and his daughter GB and the rest of the families involved. But just talk about, you talked about the brotherhood off the court. Talk about some of your favorite memories of Kobe off the court, outside of basketball.
Oh, man. I'm trying to see where do I even start, bro? That's a great question.
I know you pulled up to your camp and stuff before, right?
So and I just talked about this the other day, and I've said it before, man, but I know for me, one of the most important moments for me, man, is when I was doing I was given a check to my school for them to put a technology center in the school. At that time, Clayton County lost its accreditations, and you know, from an educational standpoint, man, we weren't in a good place. So back then, like, computers and technology was like on the up and up, and just giving them the resources and, you know, putting some things in place so they can help better and further themselves. I wrote a personal check for 20 grand in order to put computers and to do a whole room there. So I was like, big bro, this is a big moment for me. You know, I asked him and I asked D-Fish to come out and to support. And the fact that to get a legend, man, to come to the south side of Atlanta to show love, man, is huge. Like, they still talk about that to this day.
Yeah.
It's kids, it's people, it's teachers that still like, bruh, Kobe came to our school. You know what I'm saying? And to know that, you know, to know that I was able to do something like that, it's just so big and so important, especially for my community and where I come from. You know what I'm saying? Because we're struggling and going through what we're going through on our end. And just, you know, not only for myself to be an example, but then to know that there's people out there that love and care for their community as well. You know what I'm saying? And him and D-Fish didn't have to do that, but they came and they showed love.
Yeah, it shows the type of person that Kobe is. Now you talked about your community, and we all know how much Atlanta and how much, you know, the area you're from means to you. When you signed with the Hawks, what was that like? Like, was that almost like a full circle moment for you? Like, you know, coming from a kid from, you know, like you said, like the upbringing you had, the tough upbringing you had, like to come back and to have opportunity to represent your hometown team and play in front of your hometown, you know, your home city. Like, what was that moment like for you?
Like, bro, it's probably one of the craziest things, man, especially because I was just coming off of the back-to-backs. And it was going to be either between them, Cleveland, and I think Chicago. And I always said, even before I went to LA with the Lakers or the Clippers, or, you know, when I just started out, I had always been telling Jamie, I'm like, bro, I got to play for the home team at least once.
Yeah.
Because to me, I feel like what bigger way to show, like, when you're able to play at the highest stage where you're from.
Yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, for me, I don't think nothing is as big as that, as like, especially like an accomplishment, man. Like, you made it at the highest level and you're from here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that means a lot to me. And not only that, but then it's like all those people who were a part of the process. You know, I just lost a coach the other day. From my understanding, he passed away from COVID-19. And I posted a picture on Instagram. No, love, bro. But it's like, you talking about gentlemen like him, Coach Outlaw, Norman Parker, who was with the Georgia Stars. You talking about Ken Ross, who was my high school coach, man, that gave me a chance. Lindsey Hunter. Man, just so many people that were a part of my journey, man, that pushed me. Even if they told me I was shitty, you know, however they felt, but they were still a part of the process, man. And that's, you know, that's where I get that hunger and that edge from, because you got people that when they don't believe in you, that pushes you, and even the one pushes you as well. So to get somebody like Kobe to come pull up and be a part of the culture, and to come from the culture of that South Side mentality, and to be able to play for the Atlanta Hawks, man, was like a huge thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, like what Meek was talking about, that that's like your championship right there. Like, you basically, like, you know, was able to put on for your city, put on for, like, you know, all your you know, all your friends and your family, and, you know, that, like, by them seeing you, you know, back with the Hawks, it was like they was playing with the Hawks. So it was like, I know that feeling had to be like, that's everybody's dream, bro. That's, you know, that's everybody's dream, to be able to play in front of at the crib, in front of your hometown. Like,
I know ticket requests were crazy too. I know everybody was trying to get tickets, huh?
Man, listen, bro, that and I'm gonna tell you what's crazy, because when I actually played here, it wasn't as bad as it was when you don't play here, right?
Yeah.
So when I was playing with Dallas, the Lakers, I mean, you talking about, bro, sometimes I'm having to get 70 to 100 tickets.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta have my South Side folks in there, so it's like I got the high school in there, I got all my partners, family, the street homies, everybody in that thing.
That's crazy, yo.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
So we definitely got to circle back a little bit and definitely talk about your time with Golden State. I mean, you was on the Warriors before they became the Warriors of today, but that was like, really put Golden State on the map with Baron Davis and Stack and Matt Barnes and those guys. Talk about that experience.
I mean, well, first of all, just because I was like the thrown in on the trade, man. So I didn't even know how to feel about that, dog. Like I just knew I was finna be in Indiana, dog, chilling, because what I'm saying, like I went in there after getting traded there, and I busted my tail, and they literally cut a first-round pick to keep me. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is damn near unheard of. You know what I mean? And just like that was the type of person that I was in my mentality, man. Like I just always had a work ethic and a grind about myself. So when I'm sitting up here thinking I'm finna be, a part of the Pacers, man, and obviously the strip club shooting and all that stuff that went on and went down. Hey, bro. Hey, off camera, bro, I'm make sure I talk to y'all some of these stories up there, bro. But listen,
I hear that one.
So the team wasn't really doing that well, man. But we were doing well, but as far as like the chemistry, like they really, saying at the time, man, it was just the coaches and the staff want to change, man. So they packaged, I think it was Stack, Jack, and Al first. Then they threw Sarunas in there. Because remember, Yessa Cabbages was on that team.
Yeah, he was cold too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's coaching now, right?
Yeah, he coaching Zalgiris.
That's crazy. So, and I'm sitting up here. It's crazy because Al, and it's the funny part. So Al, he was like, "Damn, Powell, like they just traded me." So I'm like, "Shit, bro, let me get all them fresh ass shoes you got." You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be rocking them things, bro. Hey, bro, when I tell y'all, the minute I asked them for them damn shoes, man, them folks said, "Hey, JP, they want to talk to you in the back office." I said, "What the hell, bro?"
That's cool.
Bro, you talking about, bro, my feelings was so hurt, bro. I just knew I was gonna be fresh, bro. And then when I came out, he just started laughing at me. He said, you gotta bring your ass with us now. I just knew I was going to be rocking all the fresh, because that's when they had the Air Force Ones that were the hooper shoes with the strap.
Yeah, the Rasheed Wallace joints.
And bro, I had all the heat. I was trying to get all of them. So, but yeah, man, just, when we got there, man, obviously Golden State was going through what they were going through. But it was still a fun team, man. We were, young and exciting. You talking about Michael Pietrus, Monte Ellis. We had Kalena Azubuike.
Back.
Baron, Matt, Stack. What's Andres Biedrins?
Yeah.
Goose? Yeah. Yeah. So we had a squad, man, and the fact that we just put our heads together, man, and came up with a crazy run to get in that 8th spot, man. It was just crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they started the whole We Believe thing. And it's funny because I think when we got there, we played Dallas 3 times after we got there, I believe. I want to say. And I know we beat them. Like, we beat them at their spot. It might have been twice. So we beat them at their spot when they came. So they came and played us the last game of the year. And they had already had the first place on Smash because they won 67 games that year. So
Mm-hmm.
they were cooking. They were cooking. But they decided to sit players and do all that for resting. Man, we drugged them folks. So that already set the tone going in.
Yeah, I was confident.
Beyond confident, bro. And then Coach Nelly was playing small ball and reinventing and doing what he do, and that was it, bro. I'm talking about game after game, bro. It was just exciting.
That's crazy.
Barron, Stack, Matt, all them boys, man. Everybody was playing out of their minds, bro. Like, and it was just the confidence. You could see it. It was just crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
So
That's crazy. We got you played in so many different countries, but you head over to China. You took your talents across that other side of the water. So, what's your experience like in the CBA?
I had 3 different experiences. My first experience, the team I was playing with, was it Liaoning?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a government-owned team.
Yeah.
So their structure, like just certain things were just a lot different. And they always had like the people, the higher ups that was like, in control and in charge of the team. So I'd come from, and I think that was like the most difficult part because you come from, I had been in the league for 7 years or so to now CBA where they want you to do this, do that, which I didn't have a problem with it, but it's still like I've never been a selfish player. So it was crazy because you could have 20 and 10, man, and it seemed like it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, it's not enough.
You know what I'm saying? Like having to get used to that, it was like crazy because, man, you got 20 and 10 and wasn't good enough. You might have, I remember one game, I probably shot 20 shots, bro. Had 20, maybe like 28 and 15 or whatever it was. And we got the win, still wasn't good enough. And
That's
because
wild.
over there, man, they're comparing you to how everybody else in the league is doing or how they're doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So I could be efficient. I let's just say, for example, my game was like Dirk's, and I'm over there averaging 30, but that 30 may not be as sexy if I was playing like a Zion, you know what I'm saying? And I was dunking all the time. And even if I was playing like Zion and I only had 15 points, they'll take that 15, it seems like, over the 30.
Yeah.
Because it's more sexier, it looks different.
More
You know what I'm
flashy.
saying? Because it's about entertainment. So it was like making those adjustments, and then a lot, bro. And I remember one time we had a team meeting. I said, "Look, man, I came here to play the game of basketball. It just seems like it's too much drama, too much back and forth. It was just a lot going on, man." So Rodney Carney was my teammate.
Oh,
on that first team.
Right.
So, and that's my dude, man. But let me tell you this funny story, man. I'll never forget this shit. So, at first, when I got there, I was like I was the only American for a long time. And then finally they picked him up. So then, of course, that changed the whole structure, bro. Like I went from 30 to 35 a game to, playing the whole game to now when they picked up the other American, you got to split quarters and then you finish off the last 2 quarters together.
Yeah.
So he was frustrated, bro. He was adjusting, man, and it had been weeks of like it brewing. Like he was getting frustrated in practice. He was, playing the games and doing well, but it just seemed like there was some tension. So I'll never forget, bro. One day he decides to get into one of the Chinese players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And them folks come together now. They ain't bullshit. So, bro, when I tell you it didn't matter that we was all on the same team, bro, he pushed one of them and then squared up like he was finna like get to it. When them folks surrounded him, I felt like we was in a Bruce Lee flick, bro. So I had to bust in between. I said, oh. I was like, now we can do this now, but damn, bro. And I told him, I said, bro, you about to get these folks, you about to get the whole country jumping on us and messing around, dog. You gotta calm your ass down, bro. like, bro, I don't think y'all understand, dog. When I tell you them folks surrounded us, bro, and they was ready, like how them folks did Georgetown when they came over there. Yeah, they
don't play.
They ain't playing, bro. I'm talking about in numbers.
Play. Yeah, they don't play.
No, sir. No, sir. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick funny story because I don't think I've ever told this one on any interview. So I was played against Shavlik.
Yeah.
And I hope y'all get in touch with him and ask him about this. So Shavlik, me and him are real cool. You know what I'm saying? That's like family. And we just finished playing against each other. I think we got the win, whatever. But you know how guys after games they catch up and have dinner or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So me and him go out to eat, enjoy the meal. We coming back, and we catch a taxi going back. So I'm sitting in the front, and I paid going. So he's like, "Bro, I'll take care of it going back." All right, cool. So we're pulling up to the hotel. The driver's like, I need 20 or something like that, 20 yen or whatever it is, the money over there. So Shavlik doesn't, have change. He pulls out a 50 and he gives the dude the money. The dude just takes the whole 50. So mind you, he can't speak a lick of English. So I said, hold on, big dog. I snatched the money out of his hand. I put the 20 on the thing. And right when we pulling up, he going in. So I'm sure he probably done called me everything under the sun. So, bro, we pull up to the hotel. I said, Shav, let's go, man. Like, the hell what he talking about, bro. Let's go. So Shav was looking concerned. Dude come yelling in the lobby. Now, it's 3 drunk Chinese dudes in there, and they all with their girls. So he come in there screaming, bro. And I'm thinking he told them like I didn't pay or something.
Yeah.
So these dudes go from minding their business, dog, to now they being aggressive and they talking to me crazy.
Word?
So I'm going to the elevator, bro. I'm like, man, I ain't finna pay these dudes no mind. Why they done circled me on the elevator, bro? Same shit, dog. So now they surrounded me, dog. When I turn around, though, where's Shavlik? He gone.
It left you hanging.
Bro, so I'm like, oh hell no, bro. That's tough. So I'm by myself, dog. They done started jumping on me, bro. So I'm sitting up here tussling with these 3 little ass Chinese dudes, trying to get them off the elevator so I can go up to my room, bro. I'm literally, bro, and this shit, bro, I tell y'all no lies, bro. I feel like I'm in the middle of a movie. I got these little dudes, they trying to kick, throw punches, they doing all kind of stuff, bro. And I'm sitting up here. I got one dude choked up, the other dude around my leg. Bro, I can't make this shit up, fellas.
Wow, bro.
And it was the wildest shit. So look, I'm tussling, bro. This shit lasted for like 8 to 10 minutes, but it felt like 2 hours. So I'm tussling, bro. I finally get them off the elevator. So I'm like, soon as I get to my room, I'm calling Jamie. I gotta get the hell on. I don't even be here.
It's over.
Like, they done messed my whole experience up, bro. Mind you, a week before that, Rodney had his moment.
Yeah.
So now you talk about a whole bunch of moments. Then I couldn't get a hold of Jamie. I called Shavlik ASAP. I said, bro, what the fuck, dog? Like, where was you at, dog? He was like, hey, man, I just figured you had it, man. You black, you got it. I said, what? Hey, man. I got so many of them stories, bro.
Oh, bro.
Man.
That's too funny. That's too funny. That's too funny. Now we gonna get to the Olympiacos portion. So you 2012, like we already mentioned, you came in midway through the season. What did you know about Olympiacos before you came in? Was it just like, it was a situation, you gonna play EuroLeague? What was it?
So all I knew was that they were EuroLeague, but then I remember Jamie, he kept saying like, bro, research their fans.
Yeah.
He was like, research the madness. And I was like, bro, I'm from the South Side. Like, all I know, hey, look, all I know is North Clayton, Riverdale. Like, it can't be no more crazier than that. So I started looking at the videos, man, and like, I'm geeked up because I'm like, oh, they turned up over there. That's my type of vibe. But it don't even compare to once you get over there.
Facts.
Crazy.
Like, once you're a part of it. Hey, Kyle, what city was that, bro? It was like my second game there because the first game was against Milan. My second game was we played a Greek team. I can't remember which team.
It was Pettistetti. You all played against. It was a team on the island. I just remember we were at the airport or something, bro, and the fans were lighting the little bombs and flares and doing all that at the airport.
Oh, I think it was like Eris or Powell. We went to like Saloniki and we pulled up, man. And as soon as we pulled up, they was out there waiting for us.
Ready.
Oh my God. I said, bro, this how we doing it here. I was geeked up, bro. Like that jump was like exciting, man, to see like people that love the game like that. Like I was just talking, yeah, man, because like I'm gonna be real, bro. Hate it or not, this is real shit. There's no atmosphere like EuroLeague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, bro, I done been in finals, I done been in big game sevens, I done been in whatever you want to call it, bro. I've never played in anything other than when you play at the hood for the pro-am. That's another story. But I've never been in an environment like EuroLeague, bro. Or just the whole Greek, like the Palatinakos,
The Olympiacos.
Oh, you know what story I got to tell on this one now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got to tell the story.
You know which one we got to go to, the cup. We got to go to the cup.
Bruh. So we got the cup game. So, you know what I mean? We warming up, you know what I mean? I'm always the last one warming up. So I'm out there by myself, solo. And
I just got to the game.
Yeah, they shooting flares back and forth. They shoot one flare, phew, another flare going to the other side, phew, another flare going to the other side, phew. I'm getting my I'm in my little routine, so I'm in my zone. All of a sudden, I'm on a free throw line. All of a sudden, I feel something go, boom. Everybody goes
crazy.
The whole entire crowd go crazy, bro. Bro, I dropped down. Yo, I swear to God, I turned around and look. I thought somebody came and slapped me in the back of the head. That's what it felt like. It felt like we was a young boy, like you pop somebody come. Bro, I was on the ground. I look up. There's a fire. My pants is on fire. I get up. I'm just trying to brush my pants off. Two guys come. They carry me to the locker room. Meanwhile, all y'all in the locker room, everybody's looking at me. They're like, "What happened?" I was like, "I just got shot in the head with a flare. You know what I mean, my pants is burning. I mean, I'm a little dizzy." Yo, everybody act like nothing happened. I was so tight.
Man,
Bro,
I came to that locker room so turned.
Bro, I'm sitting in the locker room. I'm holding my head like this, lumped up. The coach get to the joint, and he start drawing up plays for the game. And I'm like, yo, nobody gonna sit there and check on me if I'm okay.
Nah, I was turned up for you though, bro. I said I know damn well we not to play in this game. My boy that got shot in the head with a
I
pen.
was going crazy, dog. Crazy. I was going crazy. I was pushing cops
we not
and all
about to do
that.
that.
Bro, we literally played the game like we did warm ups. You remember we was in warm ups, so we went out, and I'm still holding my head. We went out, we running, and then we did warm ups, and while we doing warm ups, all of a sudden they started fighting on the sideline. And I remember the strength coach yelling at us like, "Keep going, keep going." They literally fighting like 3 feet away from us, like brawling, and they like, "No, keep warming up, keep warming up." I'm like, this is different.
Where was y'all at? Who y'all playing?
Panathinaikos
for the cup.
It was the cup game.
Oh man.
But the crazy part, Mike, was like so that happened with Kyle, and then they like tried to get some order because they was turned up.
Right.
So they bring us out, bro. We probably played 2 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, whatever it was. We didn't get far before that huge fight broke out. And then the police, in a wave, bro, the police start beating the shit out of fans. Anybody in the stands was going to get it. So they done rushed everybody. They rushed everybody out. I'm looking, right? Because everybody done left. They done got Spanulis inside. They done got, like, I done told Kyle because I see the fam. I said, yo, he heard that. So it's just me and Kyle getting all of our folks out the stand.
AC people, me.
Everybody, bro. And I'm like, how the hell y'all just gonna act like y'all don't see what's going on? You gonna forget the families right there?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about
jumping out the stands.
Bruh, they punished everybody in the stands. Like, they didn't care who it was. Them folks was just up there like this, ducking and dodging. They was just beating them.
Bro,
that shit was so crazy.
And then meanwhile, while that's going on, right? So we playing, and then Michael Bramos, a player from Panathinaikos, right? So a guy jumped from I don't even know if you noticed. A guy jumped from the stands from our side, pulled out half a boulder out of his pocket.
Half a what?
A boulder. It was a rock. I don't know where it came from. The rock was like this big, bro. My man, he stood in the corner ready to spot up for a three. My man ran over, took the boulder, and threw the boulder at him on the sideline. I swear.
That was the craziest thing ever, bro.
Listen over there, yo.
You saw it?
Yeah.
I ain't see that. I ain't even know.
Bro, yo, my man got hit. He got hit with a half a boulder. His arm brushed his arm like he fell on the ground. He ran to the locker room. That's when they started fighting. It's crazy.
It's crazy thing I've ever seen in my life.
And the crazy thing about it, we still finished the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Finished the game with broken seats and everything else, bro, that you could imagine, bro.
And they act like it was like yeah, yo, that's just normal. I was like, what?
Yeah, that was by far the craziest thing ever.
That shit right there was so crazy, bro. Like, but again, that's like all these folks, man, be talking about stuff they done played in and this, that, and the third. It don't compare, man. It's nothing that compares to that, man. And the pressures of just being in them environments, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it'd be crazy because, like, it's funny because, you know, obviously we all be on the phone now because, you know, we got to be in the house and do certain things. But it's like, I feel like all of us, especially, you know, everybody that's on this call for sure, bro, we're so used to, for one, we're used to that structure where people tell us what we're doing or what we're not doing.
Yeah, right.
And then we're also used to being in the crib because some of these cities that we played in, you can't go nowhere or do nothing. All you could do is eat and go to to the practice facility. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna be out here kicking it and doing anything like that, bro. So it's like I feel like we all built for these type of situations because, you know, it ain't nothing that we ain't already used to. You know what I'm saying?
We used to being like, you know, in the crib. Like you said before, most of the time solo. So we used to just being in the crib watching, you know, watching TV or doing whatever, and just not really doing much. So
we were lucky in Athens, though. Remember, we used to go bowling and all that.
Yeah,
we used to be out in that. We used to be out in Athens.
Yeah, I used to work y'all on bowling, bro.
Never.
Hey, Athens was, you know what though? Greece was, aside from, and this is the thing that I didn't like. Like, I didn't like how they treated us like we didn't have families, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we wasn't, we were professionals, bro. Like, remember Kyle, when that article came out about us going out to eat?
Yeah.
During playoff time, and they had a whole team meeting, and they was like, hey, we got guys that aren't being professional. We was like, hold on, bro. We just went and got something to eat. And it was after the game. Like, what are y'all talking about? I said, y'all stop being professional. Why don't y'all come up with this check on time? Y'all already 2 months talking about, hey, we got y'all. Just be patient, but we need y'all to win.
Be patient.
What the hell? What the hell is that, bro?
Tomorrow.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll pay tomorrow.
Nah, bro. That's the thing that, like, for real, I think that, and I know this is a sidebar, but I wish that if overseas, no matter the level, no matter what's going on, and again, Kyle, I'm glad y'all started up the association, but if them checks could come on time, bro.
Yeah, we talk about we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, man, and they can make sure that you straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all we ask, bro. We not tripping about nothing, but when your money on time, and then they start giving you a hard time about certain things that are normal for you that you're asking for, or, you know, just, can I have hot water in my place, or can I, you know, I done played in so many different places, man. I'm talking about, bro, I've been to Puerto Rico, and I love Puerto Rico, and I know this is off where we going, but it's still kind of the same. But it's like, it might be sometimes, bro, they might cut off the water on one side of the island and the other side got water. So you might have just finished the game, bro. You can't wash your ass. Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, you know that little meme of that little boy or something, like, it's covered, it's all white?
Yeah.
You just feel extra stank and extra, like, bro. Like, you mean to tell me I can't wash my behind, bro? Or, you know, you in some of these places, they ain't got no hot water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, it's no shade, man. I get it. We make the adjustment. But I don't think that a lot of times these overseas teams, clubs, front office people think about us as athletes and how we feel having to come to work and perform in the conditions that we're performing in, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I was in Venezuela during the riots, bro. Like, I've been in so much stuff, and it's like, bro, we this shit ain't normal. Like, we might be cool and act like it's cool, but it's not normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that was the thing that I wish even at Olympiacos was better, because but at the same time, like, how are you a top team and you're not paying guys on time, or you're not doing those types of things that you want us to be professional, but then it's like, the money's supposed to hit on the 15th, and then the 15th come, and then, you know what I'm saying, you're like, oh no, we can't do it this month because, you know, we're trying to get the money. Like, nah, bro, nobody want to hear that.
Nah, yeah,
My
we do our job.
My bills back at the crib, you know, I still got to take care of stuff. Like what that look like when I can't even, you know, pay my rent or do, like, whatever your situation is. They don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So salute to you, man, for starting that, man. And I just hope that gets better. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that'll make it easier, man, for guys to be able to perform even better than performing at right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, because then it's something that you don't have to worry about.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. I agree. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why that's why we started the whole PA situation to kind of make, you know, light of the you know, the situation for players all over Europe, so we can have some type of, like, you know, standard of living, some level of standard. Because when I talk to the guys over here, I'd be like, we don't have this, we don't have that. They be like, what? Like, the simple things, like little simple things. But I mean, that's right. I mean, that's kind of like the gift and the curse of you know, of all this. But on a positive note, though, I do want to ask you: do you remember that parade, that celebration after we won that title? We came back from London. You remember, you know, that when we got back home from the airport?
Like, we landed, I think, maybe at like 12. Was it something like that?
Yeah.
Because we took the private boy, and which, how crazy is that, right? We still ain't had our money, but we took a private plane.
Right.
Anyway, I'm gonna let that go over some of the people's heads. But so it's crazy because we land, and I've never seen this type of display, man, where, like, the people from the time we were getting off they were already thousands of people there. Like, and then they followed us all the way to the gym. And it took us, I swear, it's like, how long is that ride normally, Kyle? Maybe 30, like 40 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, maybe 30 minutes tops.
And it took us hours to get back to the crib, to the gym. Yeah, and then they kept going at the gym.
Man, I remember we got back from the airport. Everybody was on the highway. It was crazy. Like, people celebrating.
Highway flares and flags. And
that shit was hard, bro. That shit was hard.
Yes. They was chanting Kyle's name. Like, it was crazy, yo.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Black Jesus. Try to tell them.
Nah, I told you, man. I'm just a guy.
Oh, I remember that shit like yesterday, bro. What you mean?
I was looking at the pictures, and we was all standing on top of the bus. I was like, bro, that was like,
that picture's so hard.
Bro.
Yeah,
hard, bro. How, was it like that the first year?
It was not to that extent, bro. Like, it was like that, but I think more or less because people were surprised we won. So I think like the second year when we came back, it was like back to back, and I think the way we won, the fashion we won. But yeah, that second year was
that game was one of the best games ever.
Yeah,
that's one of the best games ever.
That shit was crazy, man. I do want to publicly thank y'all, man, because y'all kept my head, man. Because I know for me, that was a frustrating year for me, man. Because when I first got there, and I know I talked to Kyle about that, but it was like me and him knew for sure, like, we were both getting our 20 minutes. We had our system going. I think the first 2.5 months, man, we didn't lose a game.
Yeah.
Like,
I was on the road.
We was just on the road, man. And then I got hurt, and that shit happened with my knee. And they brought in, who's the big fella? George Sherman.
Sherman.
So they brought him in, bro. And then the coach didn't really communicate how he was doing whatever he was doing. I don't know. And I was just frustrated because I'm like, bro, like, I done went from 20 to 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm splitting, like, I'm starting and then
Yeah,
2 minutes.
yeah,
That
In
was
2
weird,
minutes,
man.
bro, I'm literally going up, back, maybe up,
yeah,
back, and then sub for no
yeah,
reason.
yeah.
And I was just like, bro, I'm about to lose my shit. Like, what
I
is this?
remember he would start you the first quarter, and then he would start you the third quarter, like at a halftime, and then that was it. So
That was it, bro. And that
yeah,
shit went on, and I'm like, Kyle, brother, man. I was like, F this, dog. Like this. Why? What? And he didn't have a reason, bro. It was like, you know what I'm saying? So I know for me, it just kind of felt like I was out of place for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because once I did get healthy, and he wasn't explaining what was going on until we had a meeting. He wanted to have a meeting, and he was just like, "Oh, I wanted to bring you back slowly, and I wanted to make sure of this and make sure of that." And I'm
Slowly.
like, and I'm super slow though, like a
Slowly,
whole
slowly. You remember that?
2.5 months of slow. Like, bro, what is that? So, it's crazy because, you know, they force you to come back early, and then to do me the way that they did me, and then because I think I had to get a second look at my knee because I missed when y'all went to Tel Aviv, and because I had to get my knee injected again when I did
yeah. I
the
remember that
PRP or whatever it
PRP
was.
thing.
And you know, that was just a frustrating time. And then like right before, and it's funny because when they needed for us to get that win, remember when we played against Kimki?
Yeah,
Am I saying that
Kimke.
right?
Yeah,
Is it
Kimke.
Kimki?
Yeah.
Remember, that's the first and only game me and you played together.
Yeah.
And we dogged their ass, bro. And I was like, why y'all ain't been doing this? Like, me and bro we could have been played at the same time, but they just didn't do it. And it was so crazy because that game, and I might got a picture or two, but I remember because me and you was out there, bro, and they rushed that floor, bro, and it was so lit after that because that was the game going to the final.
Yeah.
So, and it was just like, man, all the ups and downs, man, but I appreciate y'all, man, for talking me through it, AC too. But that shit was a hard time, bro. Like,
It was hard to.
it's frustrating as a player, bro, when you know what you can do, man, and you're not in control. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard,
Right.
bro.
You talk about the ups and the downs, but how do those situations help you become not just a better player, but a better person off the court and all that? And how did you apply those lessons to your life?
Because it's adversity and it's about adjusting.
Right.
And that's I think as a parent, for sure. I'm not married anymore, but even when I was married, just trying to make those adjustments, being a better husband, having the communication, searching for those answers to be successful in every area of life, not just on the court. And it teaches you how to be patient, right? So, for example, the situation we just talked about, there's also, because whether it's your relationship or whether it's with your kids, you have to have that type of patience because you have to see the end goal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of times, it gets frustrating when things don't go the way that we plan or how we want. But just understanding that these things are also part of the process.
Right.
So Greece, China, the league, my journey as being a professional basketball player, my high school, all of these things help prepare me for even how I am today. You know what I'm saying? And just understanding and trusting the process. And then when all else fails, bro, because we're human, we all gonna have moments. It's good to have a village. And for me, y'all were my village at that time. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's how we're able to form bonds and build relationships. So I'm forever grateful, even for those tough times, man, because it just helps you. Because you never know, man, God might be protecting you from something.
That's
You may
facts.
not know what
Right.
that is. You know what I'm saying? So at the time, it might not be the easiest thing to hear, but when you go back and you think about it, you never know, because it might have been like, shit, something could have happened. You know, you could have been, an injury could have happened. You know, this could have happened. Like, you never know. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm forever grateful for those moments.
Most definitely. I mean, we all been fortunate enough to meet your family, and you know, your kids and all that, and you know, you being able to watch you be a great father and all that. Just to talk about the sacrifices you had to make by, you know, a lot of people don't know, being an athlete, doesn't matter if you play in the NBA, overseas, whatever, just the sacrifice being away from your family at times, and how that affected your family and how that affected you.
Yeah, I mean, I want to chime in because I mean, I remember that period we talked about. It was like that 1.5 year period where you was like, you wasn't home for almost like 2 years, and it was like you was going from like 7 countries or something like in like 16 to 17 months or something like that, and you was like literally like on the grind. Like what, like it's like Tyler said, like what's like how has this journey like impacted your family like in a good way, in a positive way?
Yeah, well, first, before we go to that, Kyle, I just so happened to just, because I looked up and I just remember when you did this to me, bro, in that game, man, when you dunked and then you came down and you elbowed me and had me leaking, bro. You took my rebound. I just want to show y'all this black on black crime right here, man, and this is forever gonna be right here.
Those are battle scars, bro. War wounds, man. We with the battle, bro.
Bro, we was on the same team,
bro. It don't
dog.
matter.
I did all the work. I had them boxed out.
Bro, we were in the trenches, man. It don't matter, man.
But no, man. That span that you was talking about, man, that 2 years was that was a rough time for me, because I had already been kind of playing with the fact of retirement, like after I left Olympiacos, because I had started to see the effects of what the game was doing to like my family. And I think that a lot of people don't understand what we go through, because the NBA thing is one thing, man. Your family, you know, they can come live with you and you know, they can go to schools and do all of that. And I'm not saying that they can't do that overseas. But what I am saying is it's a lot different, because for one, if your kids are older, finding a school system and making sure that they have everything that they need while you're able to work, that's a big adjustment, especially being in another country. You know what I'm saying? Like when we was in Greece, my kids were able to go to school, which was cool. You know what I mean? We had a way for them to still get their education, but every place is not like that. So I was already playing around with the whole retirement thing just because I wanted to be around my family more. I wanted to be around my kids. And I went hard, bro. When I tell you I went job to job to job, the most I stayed home in 2 years was maybe like 4 days. I think it was something crazy like that.
Damn, that's crazy.
But when I tell you I was on a real grind, because I knew I was gonna hang it up. And that's pretty much what I did. I went from Puerto Rico to China to Argentina to China to like it was like nonstop. Like I remember one time I had just flew home from Puerto Rico and I landed on a Monday, and when I landed, I got the email that said I gotta leave Tuesday.
Damn.
I used to call you sometimes. It used to be, I was like, dang.
Yeah, I'll never forget that, bro, because I literally had pictures of being with one team one day, and then I took a whole nother picture and I was in China the next, and it was fucking people up. They was like, bro, when did that happen? You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to know, man, the sacrifices that we make, and it's not easy. Just like it's not easy for your family to come over there, because that's tiring too. You know what I'm saying? When you got to make sure that they're good, they're in a country where nobody speaks the language. There's a lot going on, you know, and you got to make sure they're eating, that they got a ride to wherever they're going if they can't drive, or, you know, it's just all of that stuff to make sure that they're comfortable, versus if they were home they're going to be comfortable, but then they're not going to be around you. So, you know, I think that people should definitely understand, man, the sacrifice that goes into it, and it's much different when you're a country away and not a city away or in the same, you know, at least be in the same country with your people, you know, where you can make the adjustment. Yeah.
Totally different time zone.
And it's heavy, bro. It was heavy, you know what I'm saying? But my outlet is the game of basketball. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing, no matter what, that we all can lean on in sports in dark times, or or whenever we're going through something. And that's pretty much all I use, man. I had fuel and I was just hungry, and I'm just like, man, I'm just gonna kick ass, man. I'm gonna go as hard as this shit as I possibly can, and then I'm gonna be out.
I'm gonna put this in my house one day.
Hey, bro, you so petty now. Hey, shoot me there. I couldn't even imagine some of the good. Y'all probably got all the good photos, man. Shoot your boy some photos, man.
I got you.
I got you.
I'm trying to, cause Kyle coming up with the he got the flu games on, Jordan game crazy back in the day. Hey, damn.
Throwing the archives out, you know what I mean? Yeah, man.
That boy had them feet.
So one of the things I want to ask you about, as far as, you know, the advice you would give to kids, because you 37, bro, and you still doing this. You still going hard. You know what I mean? You played. I think you played 1 year ago in Argentina. You still going hard at the big three. So what advice would you give to young players about, you know, trying to establish their roles in this game and trying to establish, you know, some sense of like longevity in their career?
I think the biggest thing that you can do is focus on you and not compare yourselves to others. You know, don't block your blessings, because you know how many times, bro, you sit back, especially as kids. We've all done it. When you look at somebody, you like, man, I know damn well I'm better than him.
Yeah.
Like, why is he playing over me, or why? And, you know, when you start doing that, you start blocking your blessings. And if I could do anything different, I think would be more so to just focus on what I'm doing and not poison my mind with that negativity. Because, you know, we all have had to pay our dues in some way, shape, or form. And it doesn't matter. And it's like, even if you started one way, you know, everybody on this call right now has a different journey. Like, we all come from this sport background, but we all have a different way that we still connect through the game. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike is able to produce and help, you know, with what y'all have going on with the brand, and be able to get a lot of this content and go out here and do what he's doing, which is still a great thing, and still being a part of sport. You know, Tyler was playing, and now he's training and being a mentor and doing stuff like that, which is dope. You know, you're doing what you're doing, like, yeah, you're still playing, but then it's like you're making historical movements, bro. You're starting the Players Association. You know, I don't even know anybody that got as many championships as what you have, especially from an American player standpoint. And it's just, you know, everybody is doing something amazing from this game. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that if each individual can focus on their journey, what they can do, and then allow the chips to fall where they may, then it'll always work out the way that God wanted it to work out.
Oh, for sure. Most definitely.
Yeah, tap in a little bit and talk about, you know, your nickname is the Give Back Kid. You know, I've seen you and been with you on multiple occasions where either talking to kids during Luda Day, or we pulling up to Riverdale High School, and you talk to the kids there at your old school. Let's talk about what that means to you to give back. You know, you've been given a lot. The game of basketball has given you a lot, but to be able to give that back has to feel good. Let's talk about that.
Just knowing what we come from, Mike. I know that I didn't have anybody that I could like say that came to our school or took time out their day to come talk to us, or, you know, somebody that could look out do things like that. And for me, man, just knowing and understanding where I come from, my community, and all of that stuff is just important. And giving back, again, doesn't necessarily have to be a money thing. It could just be time. You know, even now with this COVID stuff going on, I've been partnering with a church, man, and they've been doing it, but, you know, they asked me to do it from the first day. And we've been going in the hood, some of the places I grew up in, and we're giving food to families, bro. You talking about 300 to 400 to 500 families that we're feeding, helping on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we out here, gloves on, masked up, and we still making it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, I know these are the times that we in, but I think that when God puts things on your heart, man, you're covered. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to let fear of this or anything stop me from doing his work. So that's a part of me serving. And I just want to make sure that I'm continuing to do my part.
Definitely. Want to salute you, big bro, because I remember we were all leaving Greece. Just to piggyback on that, we were all leaving Greece. The season was over and all that. Y'all won y'all championship. And I remember I said bye to you. I was like, man, it was a pleasure meeting you. You know, pleasure being around you. Thank you for everything. You know, take care of yourself. I remember you looked at me. You was like, bro, this ain't our last time talking. Like, you know, we fam. Like, this what we do. Like, I'm gonna be around. This, you know. So definitely, I know I can speak for, you know, all three of us, me, Kyle, and Mike. Definitely appreciate you for always being thorough, always being, you know, the type of guy that you are. You know, from the setting the scriptures to, you know, the words of advice to even, you know, even me and Mike coming down to checking in,
bringing us in,
bringing us into Atlanta and having a good time, man. Open up your arms with us, man. It's all love, bro.
I wouldn't be here.
Always
Be living here if it wasn't for you, bro.
My darling. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all, man, because, you know, I know, too, that even though a lot of times we build bonds, but sometimes, you know, sometimes it stays on the court. You know, not always is it something that continues to go off the court. And, you know, I appreciate y'all for bringing me around, and I've been able to meet everybody's family, come into your house, and to have those intimate conversations, you know. And I know we've had times where we may have bumped heads or some other things happen, but what family is perfect? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know, just to know that we're still here and we can still talk and catch up and still have that love, man. I think that's the most important thing, man. And again, to go back to it, it's just the game of basketball, sports period. But I just know the game of basketball is just, this is one sport, man. You're not going everywhere and doing that. Like, when you go outside, bro, even you still got to have numbers to do football. You got to have numbers to do baseball. It ain't the same soccer-wise. Like, this is the one thing, you could be at the crib and get some socks out and pull a bin up and just start shooting baskets, or you can go hoop by yourself. You can play one-on-one, or you can play 5-on-5. Like, this is like that one game, man, that's worldwide that brings everybody together. And you know, speaking on it just made me think, and I feel like that's why Kobe was so big. You know what I'm saying? And what he meant to the world is just how he was able to draw everybody in together. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, salute, guys. I'm going to throw y'all roses, man. You know, keep throwing them things out.
Throwing back to you, bro.
Right.
Do what it do.
Before we wrap this up, kind of let people know about your other ventures. You know, we already talked about. I got the T-shirt shorty going on.
Hey, man.
You know what I mean? Always supporting. Got the skill
set. They're king.
Got the skill set academy coming around that you're working on. And we already talked about the 21 reasons to give. But then also, I mean, talk about the big three a little bit too. You know, we're gonna see, you know what I mean, hopefully, you know, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. But we're gonna see, you know what I mean, see you out there, you know, this summer. So, you know, talk about those things before we wrap it up.
So, well, first and foremost, T-shirt shawty, man. Follow, copper shirt, share the word, but T-shirt shawty .co, or you can follow us on Instagram at T-shirt shawty. SHAWDY. Basically, it's like a positive affirmation type of shirt line or hoodies, and we're coming up with more stuff. But the dope thing about it is it's something that my kids came up with. So we all were sitting at the table and came up with this concept. Skill Set Academy, which we just started a couple months ago. Definitely something that's been up and growing. And the crazy thing is we have relationships not only with, obviously training kids and training professionals, but we're doing things too where we're partnering with different countries. And we're bringing in players from other countries and teams from other countries. And we have, facility, we have weights, we have recovery, we have everything set up for guys to put their head in the ground and just grind. 21 Reasons to Give Foundation, been running for about 10, 11 years. Also got to give Next Level Boys Academy a shout. Gary Davis. Yeah, so been doing a lot of work with them. I'm actually with the founder from there. Me and him started this Mentality Men project where we're discussing the evolution of men. So basically going from boy to man to like father. Like that transition, because being a husband may not be for everybody, but I know people out here having kids left and right. So it's just talking about the place that we're supposed to be in and how we're supposed to act, and just being good role models and good people out here in our communities. What else? Big Three. So this will be my third season in the Big Three. I am a co-captain currently right now. And obviously when we can get everything back rolling, we can get season 4 jumping, in which we're supposed to, I think they're playing with it, but we're supposed to do a majority of the season in LA. I think that's what they're trying to do, like a quarantine type of situation.
Yeah, I've seen that, like a quarantine reality show type thing too, and all that.
Yeah. So it's just, once they can figure out the logistics and what's going on, I think it'll be all good. And it'll be, really cool to just get back and get to the grind. For those who don't know much about it, follow the Big Three on Instagram. Check us out. 3-on-3 competition, man. It's a fun, exciting league, very competitive. Kyle, when you get done, they done opened it up for everybody. So,
so I'm working on my floater, bro.
I'm trying to tell you, but it for somebody like yourself, man, it's perfect because, athletic, you can defend. And that's the thing, man. That 3-on-3 is a different monster, bro. Because if you can't play defense, you're gonna get exposed.
Yeah,
so
you can't hide it. You can't hide yourself.
So, it's a great league, man. It's really fun, and yeah, man. Big shouts and big salute, man. And I'm gonna go ahead and plant this seed right now. We need to do. And I know y'all been playing with it because y'all been doing different highlights of people like players and stuff. But we need to officially do a real overseas documentary, dog. Not that shit ESPN did. You know what I'm saying? No shade to them. I think it was ESPN, right? Yeah, it was ESPN.
I think so, yeah.
Not that.
Mexico, and yeah, it was a little.
That ain't it. That ain't the move. We need to do like a real put one together, really talk about and discuss certain things, man, and then you can have the real narrative of what it's supposed to be, and how it looks, and then also too plug the Players Association and do all of that stuff, man. I think that'll be huge. I don't see who wouldn't want to, subscribe, buy it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because those are real stories.
Sure.
Nah,
You
you're
know,
right.
like where you get not only the EuroLeague, but you got to get all walks of life.
Nah, we
Man, it ain't no way, and there's too many stories out there.
we talk.
I ain't even begin to tell, and I know we all got stories on this phone, but bruh, I done been sitting across from the cartel before. Like it like we got stories, bro, that,
Yeah.
that we need to share, man, and people need to see. And I think it'll give a much bigger appreciation for what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And what we have done. So
That's part of the reason why we decided to do this podcast to kind of, you know, give people it's not the full scale, but give people kind of a small glimpse of the stories and the experiences that we go through, and give people and players the opportunity to share them stories. So once people obviously going to hear these stories, they're like, wow, like that's really happening. So then that way we can use this, you know, this platform to, you know, to eventually start the full length documentary, docu-series that we've been trying to do, that we've been talking about for a long time. So it's in the works, bro. We taking them steps. We gonna get it there though.
big fact. Big fact.
Yeah, so I appreciate you, bro, man. I appreciate you breaking the ice. You know what I mean, being the first guest. We talked almost 2 hours. So when we got a lot of content, a lot of footage, a lot of good stuff. Now I mean, so we gonna I mean, I appreciate you, bro.